Good evening to anybody who cares to listen. Good evening, Martin. Good evening, Manchester City fans. Good evening, the for certain influx of plastic Liverpool fans who have never sniffed Stanley Park in their entire lives. This is a public service announcement from me, Mr. Negative, Robert Campbell. I want to first take you on a little journey, tell you a story about European naivety. Now, we played against Real Madrid a few years ago under Pellegrini. We lost the tie 1-0 over two legs because we had no cojones. We had no bolas. Okay? When Pep Guardiola came in and when our chairman, Abdul Mubarak, gave a statement a few years ago, both of them irrefutably said that Manchester City have European naivety. Now, what does European naivety mean? Well, I will tell you in plain English, in plain as day, and I thoroughly encourage you all to go back and rewatch the first leg. Manchester City were 2-0 up. 2-0 up against Real Madrid at home, fully in control of the tie, and Riyad Mahrez takes the ball down the wing and has the easiest assist of his European career. At his hands, Manchester City could have gone 3-0 up with an easy pass to Phil Foden, squared across the box for a tap-in. Now, I'm not blaming Pep, Nigel, calm down. Now, what happened was Riyad Mahrez decided to shoot at the near post instead of putting that ball across the box. Now, you're all thinking, Rob, what does that mean? Why does that make any difference? The game's 90 minutes. Over two legs, it's 180 minutes plus whatever, right? What it means is Manchester City had the best opportunity in their history of going 3-0 up against Real Madrid at home. And what would that mean? Well, what it would mean is, regardless of how good Real Madrid are, regardless of European royalty and history and heritage and all of this other nonsense that Real Madrid have, if City go 3-0 up at the Etihad against Real Madrid and Riyad Mahrez squares that ball to Foden, Real Madrid do not recover, Real Madrid do not come back. And that is exactly what our manager and our chairman have been saying for years about European naivety. Because that's exactly what that was. In the Premier League, you get away with that. You get away with Mahrez taking that shot instead of squaring it. In European football, you do not ever get away with that, and you get punished for that. And that is exactly what happened tonight. That is all I need to say about why we are out over two legs against Real Madrid. That is all I need to say about why we're not going to Paris to play a final. Forget about the referee. Referee doesn't matter, Morgan. You're clearly not listening. The referee tonight does not matter. That two-legged tie is won in the first game if Riyad Mahrez squares that ball. Simple fact. Simple fact. We're always going to get corrupt referees in Europe. We're always going to miss chances in Europe. But that was the easiest chance for City to go 3-0 up and kill the tie at home. And you can forget about the second leg because the second leg's irrelevant. Because if City go 3-0 up instead of staying at 2-0 up, we go on to score 4, 5, 6. And Real Madrid are dead and buried in the first leg. And that is what real teams do. That is what real quality European teams do. They take care of their bread and butter, they finish their chances, and they do it at home if they need to. Now, Real Madrid, all credit to Real Madrid. This season, Real Madrid have had to come from behind and have had to graft and grind for results. But guess what, ladies and gentlemen? This is not the first time. Real Madrid are not a brand new club. Real Madrid were not founded yesterday. Real Madrid have been doing this for years and years and years and years. Karim Benzema and his boys have been doing this for years and years and years and years. Carlo Ancelotti, one of the best managers in world football, has been doing this for years and years and years and years and years. Okay? And that is European naivety, 100% for Manchester City. Forget the referees, forget any dodgy decisions or yellow cards or whatever and all the rest of that waffle. Expect that in European football no matter what. To even bring that up is silly, because that's going to happen anyway. That's written in the stars anyway, that the referee's going to be crap and we're going to get no decisions and whatever. Forget that. But what that does mean is, knowing that the referee's going to be crap, knowing that we're not going to get decisions, what you absolutely fundamentally do is finish your dinner, okay? Simple facts. City didn't finish the dinner, and we were shown up for it. We were shown up for it, and we deserved, as I put in the title for the stream, some people will call it harsh, but we got what we deserved, which was absolutely nothing. Simple facts.
Yeah, I think what we saw tonight is, and Robbie's spot on, this game was lost in the first leg. This tie was lost in the first leg. And even tonight, I know the first half was a bit cagey, but second half was again the exact same. Going into extra time, it was missed chances, and we missed chances galore. You know, I know Courtois pulled off great saves. I'm not denying any of that, but it's just a couple of things stood out to me tonight. And I'm sorry, I'm gonna say one thing. Anyone who wants to go at that 11, because I've seen it already on social media, anyone who wants to say that 11 was the wrong 11, Pep did not. That was not the wrong 11 tonight. I said Kyle Walker was a gamble, and for 60 odd minutes it worked. And then Walker got injured, which was always going to happen, because you're taking a gamble with him. Did it with Stones. Basically, you look at the first leg, look at the second leg, it's kind of rinse and repeat. And one thing it does show me is our squad is not ready to do this. Because you look at our substitutions, you look at Real Madrid's night and day substitutions. And the thing is, 90 minutes, 2 goals clear, and Rob's just made a great point about the Premier League. How many times have we been 2 goals up in the Premier League and we've got away with things? Many times. When you are at this level and you are up against the cream of the crop, let's be honest here, Real Madrid are one of the cream of the crop teams. They haven't won the Champions League 13 times, and we're talking La Liga champions here. So let's be totally brutally honest. You can't get away with things in the Champions League semi-final that you do in the Premier League. Doesn't work. And I'm sorry, was we naive? And the thing that's so annoying, for the majority of that game, the plan worked. It worked. But the one thing you've seen with Real Madrid is they don't stop. Chelsea with 3 goals up in the Bernabeu and still went out. PSG were up, still went out. This is a team, like I said, go back to Mancini days. We won. We were 2-1 up in the Bernabeu thanks to Kolarov. And was it Zeko? Can't remember who one of the goal scorer was. Do you remember the Kolarov free kick? And Ronaldo scores 2 goals in injury time to win 3-2. This is a team that don't die in this competition. There is a never say die. I know it hurts, but like Rob says, this is where the chances come in. Mara's in that first leg, squares the ball, Foden, 3-0, you go home, you're happy days. But I'm sorry, against Real Madrid, you can't have... Against Real Madrid, in what, both legs, Rob, would you say we've had 30 chances? 20, 30 chances? You can't do it.
Well, that's the thing about football, believe it or not. You're going to get chances regardless, and guess what? You don't always score those chances. I mean, I don't know exactly how many games Sergio Aguero played for Manchester City. I think he played, 350, 400 games? I don't know the exact number. But he didn't score 350 or 400 goals, and he's the best striker ever. So guess what that means? It means players miss chances. That happens. But what you absolutely have to do at a fundamental basic level of football is, when you get something on a plate, you finish your fucking dinner. And we didn't. Simple. No. None of this sack Pep nonsense. None of that nonsense. None of that nonsense. Absolute nonsense. Pep Guardiola has brought this football club more success in 5 years than it's ever seen in its history. Right, let me clarify that statement before the waffle merchants come out. In consecutive order. 4 League Cups, an FA Cup, 3 Premier Leagues, maybe a 4th Premier League. That's more success than we've ever seen in the previous 130, 140 years of the football club. Aside from like maybe an FA Cup and maybe a European Cup Winners' Cup. So all of this sack Pep nonsense, get out of this club. You know what? If you want Pep out of this club, you're a fucking plastic. Go and support Chelsea again like you did before 2008.
I'm so shocked.
That's waffle, absolute waffle, this sack Pep nonsense. No, don't sack Pep. But I tell you something about Pep Guardiola. Hold him to account. Don't sack him, but hold him to account. You're not a City fan, but you're on a City channel. Fuck off. Go back to your little fucking Liverpool fan channel. Go back to your little fucking United fan channel.
Well, it was a Liverpool
Let me finish, Martin. Let me finish. Because guess what, Mr. The Editor? Guess what you'll find on your Liverpool or your United channels? You won't find a fucking Liverpool accent or a Manc accent. You'll find fucking Cockney or Iranian. Yeah? So fuck off.
Well, should Klopp be sacked because he's won 1 Premier League in 7 or 8 years? This is what I mean. I think. Listen,
Liverpool have spent £2 billion in 30 years and won 1 league fucking title. Should we all clap for Liverpool? No, fucking mediocrity. Fact.
I have seen. To be fair, Rob, I have actually seen City fans say they think it's time for Pep to go. And I'm sorry, I don't know what world they're living in.
Yeah, but guess what, Martin? None of those City fans watch City play Jamaica or watch City in Division 2. They're fucking plastics.
Yeah, and it baffles me. Listen, Pep Guardiola.
Do you see the position that Everton are currently in? Do you see that position that Everton are currently in? Yeah? Do you see that? Do you see that position that Everton are in? That's fucking City, yeah? That's where we were. That's where we should be.
No, we've been worse.
So forget this fucking waffle about sack this, sack that, fucking this doesn't matter, that doesn't matter. Behave yourselves. Give your head a fucking waffle.
Hey, did you see that Gillingham-Rotherham game the other day in League One? That's where we were. And listen, people said tonight it was all over Twitter, from League One to Bernabeu. I'm not saying, yes, we've spent the money and we've done well. But for 90 minutes, the game plan worked. It worked. Look at both keepers tonight. There was only one keeper actually busy. I'm sorry, but Courtois, like I said, he was coming off his leg, his hands, his dick and everything. They were just, even Grealish cleared off the line, had the chance, hit the post. Fernandinho comes out and bloody misses from a yard out stretching.
Right? It's 2022, yeah? It's 2022. The Editor, while you might be factually correct there on the number, 85% of our fan base is fact. Well, guess what? It's still the most real fan base in fucking football because it comes from Manchester. That 85% you're referring to thinks that Pep Guardiola, I don't know, played for City or some shit. True fact here, Manchester City fucking rejected Pep Guardiola as a footballer because he was fucking shite. Fact.
Yeah. Him and Stefan Effenberg.
Anyway, moving on. Let's talk about tonight's actual game of football. What happened in tonight's game of football? City went 2-0 up and lost.
Well, they went 1-0 up in the game, 2-0 up on the aggregate. That's where we were at. And I mean, I said I thought Real Madrid would score, which I did. I thought both teams would score. I did fancy a one each. What has hurt us is, like I said, do not underestimate this. That Kyle Walker injury was very pivotal. I also want to bring in Kevin De Bruyne, because you mentioned something, Rob, a few weeks ago. Kevin De Bruyne was going to run himself into the ground to a point where...
Sorry, Martin, I have to derail you for a second here. Manchester is red, mate, no matter what City does. Can I ask I have got to say this question this season. Why have Liverpool, United and Arsenal all become the same football team? You are absolutely fucking pathetic. Pathetic.
Kevin De Bruyne, I'm not sure if that was one game too far tonight for him. I said it in the watch-along in the first half. He looked 2 yards off it. Mahrez looked 2 yards off it. I don't know what, in the first half, there was a lot of balls where, you know, where we play that ball round the corner off the wing and they're already making runs. We weren't doing that tonight. There was a couple of times Kevin De Bruyne, the ball had gone through and De Bruyne just stopped, turned round and stared at his teammates and gave him a bollocking. There was just, I don't think he was fully fit tonight. He went off subbed quite early on. And one thing I keep saying is our subs are not there. They're not at that level. Sterling was probably the only one who was there to influence the game. I mean, Gundogan just come. You look at the players that they were bringing on, Asensio, Rodrigo. We're not there. We're not there. I'm sorry. Walker coming off was pivotal in that game. Really was. If you look, Bernardo was doing well with Rodri. As soon as Kevin De Bruyne went off, look where Bernardo went. Bernardo had to go pushing then, which then leaves. So there's so many things that were just not there. People will say we bottled it. Fair enough, we bottled it in 2 minutes. We bottled it actually in the first game with silly missed chances. You can't give your opposition, like Real Madrid, 3 goals. Fair enough. But here's the kicker here. For 90 minutes, it worked. It was bang on the money. We were there. Grealish could have made it 2 and 3-0. We could have been say, we're talking inches, an inch either side. And we're in Paris booking your tickets, setting sail and everything else. And that's just football. It's why we love the game. But let's not go down the emotional road of Pep out. I'm sick of this, I'm sick of that. Because we always said we were working on borrowed time anyway. This squad, let's be honest, this squad is probably only prepared to go the marathon of the Premier League. And anything else is a bonus. Let's not turn it all around in 4 games to go. I've said this, at the end of the season, we can stop, we can readdress, and we can analyse it all at the end of the season. But let's not throw the baby out with the bathwater now and start going into meltdowns. Because then in 3 weeks' time, if we win the Premier League and you're cheering champions, we're the greatest. Remember, 3 weeks before, you were saying we were shit and Pep was out the door. Which one do you want? I don't know. This is what I'm saying. I don't know if you agree with me, Rob, or you understand what I'm saying. But come on.
Well, like I said, I mean, I don't know. It's what it is. It's the Champions League. Listen.
But these are the same fans, Rob, that will cheer me in 3 weeks if we win the league.
Great.
Hollow victories. 3 weeks earlier.
Right, but whatever. Hollow victories are still hollow. Doesn't matter to me, Martin. My club died in 2008, and then it died again with the Super League, and then it died again when you could buy loyalty points for 50 quid extra a season. I know you still buy into it, and I know you still love Ickle City and all that crap. And I know that you still, I know that you still buy £90 shirts when you can't really afford them, and I know that others do as well.
All right, let's calm down.
Well, no, Matt, that's not. See, you don't understand things, do you? It's not even an indictment.
No,
against
what
you.
You're saying is
it's an indictment against the reality of the world.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
People are struggling to heat their homes right now. Can anyone really afford a £90 shirt that comes from a Manchester postcode? No, it's all it's all a complete joke. It's all a complete joke. And the Champions League, just like listen, Martin, the Champions League has been going for what? As the Champions League, it's been going for what? 30 years?
55, something like that. 55.
All right, 55 years. Okay, so there's been 55 years of the Champions League that City haven't won it. Did you lose sleep then either?
No.
So why should you lose sleep now?
I'm not losing sleep. I'm not. I'm hurt because of the way we lost. Because I tell you what, that's just emotion as a fan. Of course you get hurt when you are 1-0 up or 2-0 up with minutes to go. And I know we lost 3-1 and everything else because you go back. The penalty was a penalty. It was a penalty. End of. I've looked at it back. He didn't win the ball. It's what it is. But do you know the scary thing is, even at 3-1, we were still 1 goal away from. But what we then did was all our big boys had left. And then you're throwing in what we've all said, oh, hang on a minute, are they good enough all season? And we're expecting them to whack up with your Grealishes and your and all these other people, not just Colin Grealish out. What was we expecting in the last half an hour? It's difficult. It really is difficult at that point. I think what we've seen tonight is, for me, is football's a cruel game. It's a cruel mistress. But
I just want to read a tweet from a guy that was most definitely at Main Road and is most definitely a senior Manchester City dinosaur. A guy called Davy Mack on Twitter.
Oh, yeah.
This tie was lost in the first leg. You can't miss the chances we're doing European football. The officiating is irrelevant. We get that every year. We gambled with the FA Cup semi and the fitness of Stones and Walker for the Champions League and lost on all three. Fact. You see, that's the level measured head of someone who's been there, done that, got the T-shirt of Manchester City. Any other opinion is terrible.
It's fine margins. That's the game we play. When City were 1-0 up, was we expecting Real Madrid not to come at us? When they're bringing on Asensio, when they're bringing on Rodrigo, do you know what I mean? And they're canny in these semi-finals, so they go down wasting time. I was joking about Militao with his legs spread and everything else. It's just emotion. It's better. At the end of the day, they knew what to do. We didn't. We'd gone into panic mode at that point. Shit, what do we do now? And we hit panic mode. Go back to that injury, that extra time. We didn't actually do anything what we'd normally do. We stopped it because we hit panic mode. Composure had gone. Heads had gone. But I've seen people, they're digging out Diaz, they're digging out this guy, they're digging out that guy. Nobody was saying jack shit up until the 89th minute about these players. Now we've hit the 90th minute and shit's gone hit the fan. Bingo, that's it. So, I mean, I heard City bottled it, and fine, that's your opinion. But did Real Madrid bottle it for 50 minutes then when we were 1-0 up and go in? It's just football, it happens. Let's hold our hands up. Sunday, we go again, we see what happens. Our squad, I have no doubt, has got the legs and the ability to win this Premier League, to win 4 games on the bounce. Quite easily. Not easily, but I think we'll do it. Just this squad has probably gone a step too far. When you are playing Liverpool, let's be honest, you won't like this, but at the moment, I've got the best squad they've had in God knows how long. And they've spent money. We weakened down in January. They strengthened up. They've got a bigger squad than ours. There's nothing we can do at that point. Real Madrid, the substitutes they bring on compared to us, there's nothing we can do. Next year, we go again. We have said, and you can go back 6 months, 5 months, every other fucking month you want. We've said we need a new CM. We're probably going to need a centre-back. We're going to need probably a left-back. We're going to need a striker. This is why you hear this City after signing Alvarez. We're signing Haaland. We've gone in for Jude Bellingham. We're looking at Pau Torres. We're not going for these players because, we just fancy spending the money. We've said next in the summer, there's probably 4 or 5 out and there'll be 5 or 6 in. And that's where we're at. Then you judge us. A team goes so far. Our key players are at the wrong age, the wrong time. It's sad, but it's where we were with Aguero and company and everyone else. We're right back to it with a lot. Kyle Walker, 31-32. De Bruyne, 30-31. Mahrez, 31-32. Gundogan, 31-32. Fernandinho, 37, approaching 38. Fuck me, come on. You know what? We did bloody well. We lost it in the first leg because we couldn't finish our fucking tee.
Just to say, there's a guy called Billy Trey in the audience tonight. He's a Newcastle fan, a very good, long-standing Newcastle fan. Thanks for your commiserations, mate. Hey, maybe Newcastle, I'll have a better shot at this trophy than City. Maybe you'll win it before us. I'm sure as a long-standing Newcastle fan, you want to win your domestic bread and butter before you win anything else, right, Paul? So,
You were spot on. It was the first leg this was looked in. We can't turn around and go, well, in the second. We got days, we're in 90 minutes. If we'd have scored, well, even what? Two of them chances, Rob, in the first leg. We're not even worrying about them 2 goals at the end. We kept Madrid quiet for most of the game. Look at the 2 keepers, who was the busiest. Do you know what I mean? It's toss of a coin sometimes. That is knockout cup football. That's what happens. And these are the levels with Real Madrid. If you want to go to the table with the big boys, sometimes you get your ass pinched and you get your ass slapped. And tonight we've learned a lesson.
Well, yeah, it's the key word, naivety, Martin. Hopefully we do learn from this. And I tell you what, I've got a friend called Charlie who sometimes lurks in the comments, and we have this back and forth about whether City need a striker or not. What do you mean? Why is City complaining about depth? Our bench has 3 goalkeepers on it, and the other players that are on the bench are either academy players or 37 years old. So that's why we complain about depth. Oh, and by the way, there's also this other guy called Jack Grealish who's fucking useless. Anyway, back to my point. Although we did nearly score tonight. Back to my point about.
Did all right tonight,
back to my point about Charlie. Yeah, well, that's his level, isn't it? Back to my point about Charlie. We got to the Champions League final last season with no striker. We got nearly to the final this season with no striker. Imagine what we could do with a striker. Be great, wouldn't it?
I mean, is there anyone you can think of to buy, Rob?
Well, surely we've got to go all out for Danny Ings, right?
Yeah. I mean, have we got a lot of Liverpool fans watching and United? I mean, let me think.
I just want to add Buxton's. What do you mean we've spent? Yeah, we've spent in excess of £1 billion. Yeah, Manchester United have spent in excess of £1.5 billion.
Jack shit.
And are currently 6th in the Premier League. Liverpool have spent £2 billion in 30 years and won 1 Premier League title. So talking about money is completely pointless. Completely pointless. And Liverpool do not have a thinner squad in the slightest. That is an absolute.
Who said that?
Just a waffle merchant. That is an absolute. To suggest that Liverpool have got a smaller squad than City at this point is an absolute joke. Anyway, I've got some questions to address. Stephen Hughes says that Pep and City are bottle jobs. Your heads have gone. Not really. We don't give a fuck, mate. Yeah, great. Who was it? He said something a minute ago. Completely lost it. Completely lost my train of thought. Martin, back to you.
Yeah, I'm just going to say, I mean, like I said, don't worry because we'll see what happens.
I remember now, it was Buxton. Buxton said, we haven't learned any lessons. That's why it's so annoying. We've seen this capitulation in Europe before. Lyon, Monaco, Spurs, Chelsea. Add Liverpool to that list. The Tottenham game especially, because we were genuinely cheated out of that. Maybe we should have scored that penalty in the first leg against Tottenham. But the Loriente handball will follow me to my grave. That was absolutely disgusting.
But Rob is right. Naivety is the key. I wouldn't even say, I know people will say we bottled. I don't think we have. I think it's just naivety. I think it's clear naivety. Is it Pep's fault? No. Pep chose what he did. He took a gamble with Walcott. It paid off for 65 minutes. Nothing you can do. Ferguson won this trophy twice in 26 years. Fuck's sake. It's not like you win it every year. It's a cup competition. And where you get away with things in a league, you don't get away with things against the cream of the crop. And Real Madrid are one of the best in Europe and always have been. Fact, you get on with it. Their squad is better than ours. They brought on better subs. They could deal with it better than ours. So, we were 70, 78 minutes? We're bringing on a 37-year-old. What can you do? You go with what you can do with. But hey, but I tell you what, let's get behind the lads for the rest of the season. We've got 4 games left. Newcastle, Wolves, West Ham, Villa. 4 wins, and we win 4 leagues out of 5 under Pep. So there you go. If we can win the one trophy we care about, we won. That means more, as the great Bill Shankly and everyone else at Liverpool win at home. That's your bread and butter. But a lot of these Liverpool fans don't know that. The simple fact is they won't have a clue Bill Shankly is because they're supporting Liverpool for 5 frigging minutes. There you go.